Warning, this podcast contains time travel.
And spoilers.
And spoilers.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Flash, Season 1, Episode 15, Out of Time. I'm your host, Clio, and I'm wearing the wrong mask.
This isn't the one-woman podcast.
No, it's not. It's the Flash podcast. And with me I have Dom.
It is. Hello.
Holy shit.
How's it going?
Good.
Hmm.
So you were saying all day that you were fangirling.
I was
Constant
fangirling so
fangirl.
hard over this episode.
Yeah. Sarah, is there anything in particular you were fangirling over?
Time travel. Time travel alone. Time travel is the most fascinating thing in the world to me.
Mm-hmm.
Any show that has time travel in it, I end up watching. At some point. If I haven't seen it yet, I'll get around to it. But I love time travel. Love it. And I hate it at the same time.
You hate it? Yeah. So, I mean, I think we have to just jump into Wells. Skip everything else for now. We'll get back to it, but... Wells, man. The whole thing with Cisco.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, so that's not talking about Wells. That's talking about Cisco now. So, Cisco's dead.
He's not dead.
He's
dead. He's dead in this timeline.
He's dead.
He's dead in that timeline. But
So-
Barry went back. Things are gonna be different.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Were you crying with Cisco?
No, because I was just sitting there and I was like this, and then it happened, and I was like, but he's got to come back though, but he's got to come back though.
I was in shock. I was like, no, he didn't. No.
For 5 minutes, the episode kept going, and I was just like, he's got to come back though. Barry and Iris were kissing, and I was like, but Cisco's dead. He's gonna come back. And then I was like, okay, so Wells is exposed. This is good. Barry's going back in time. He can stop this.
No.
But then I was like, Barry has no idea.
Barry has no idea.
Barry has no idea. And at the end of the episode, I was just like, oh,
so
fuck.
while this was going on, before we even get into the time travels part, so Cisco's dead, right? And then I'm like, well, Caitlin knows because he's out of his wheelchair. He's gone. So so even though he's dead, Caitlin's got it. She's got this.
But she didn't tell Barry. So
Yeah.
Barry doesn't know.
Well, this, like I said, this is before the time travel.
Yes.
So I was like, we're good. We're good. We got this.
It's okay. It's all right. It's fine.
And then the kiss, and I was like, oh my god, the shit's hitting the fan. I didn't think this was going to happen this soon.
No, yeah.
And then the time travel.
No, it's fine.
And then I was like, okay, so none of that happened now.
Yeah, no, basically.
I mean, it happened, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. And that's getting me too, because it's like everything that happened in S.T.A.R Labs, Barry's not going to have a single clue. So nobody in the new timeline is going to know that happened.
Right.
But I'm going to know, and I'm going to be screaming at the TV like, dudes!
Well, how far back in time did he actually go?
A day.
One day.
The night before.
Okay, so in all that time, what we know is Barry had the conversation with Caitlin and Cisco that got them suspicious of Wells. They got Cisco interested in researching Wells again. So Barry being preoccupied now that he went back in time is probably not going to have that exact same conversation with them, which is probably not going to lead Cisco onto that path quite yet.
Which is probably going to save his life.
Right.
Okay.
So I think we're safe in that department.
Yeah, Barry's just going to be like, oh my god, time travel.
Yeah. Now Barry, knowing what's going to go on with Joe and Iris, is going to prevent Joe from getting kidnapped and all that, which is going to prevent the scene from him and Iris kissing, which is going to make that not happen, which I believe is going to lead Barry to believe she has feelings before she realizes she had feelings, and it's going to blow up in his face.
You actually put it in the most perfect way possible. let's talk about that. All right. So whose good idea was it to fucking have them bowl together?
It was.
I thought that was a good idea.
I forget. Yeah, but it's basically it was what it. So it's I don't remember her name. I'm gonna call her Anna because that's what
Linda.
I know her as. Linda.
Linda.
So Anna.
Linda Park.
Yeah, her date with Barry is basically what caused Iris to realize she had these feelings, and it was not only the date, but it was the conversation that they had in the office the night following the date.
Yeah, where she's like, "You're a bitch."
Yeah.
Back off.
I'm curious now.
Well, she didn't even say back off. She was just like, "Yeah, you're a bitch."
Hold on. So when Barry went back in time, right? It was after the bowling alley.
Yes.
So
Barry's come to the past right after.
Right after the bowling alley. So that bowling alley already happened, so they very well could still have that conversation because that happened at work.
Yes.
Away from Barry intervening. So unless Barry happens to go to her job to try to like talk to her and
unless
interrupt
he does
that
something,
scene.
That night before it becomes day.
Right. Then that scene still has the potential to happen.
I want to go back into this episode and cut together every time Iris says, "That was fun, right? It was fun, right? You had fun? It's fun."
Wipes the ketchup off his...
Oh, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's like, haha, don't touch me.
Yeah.
I'm awkward now.
Yeah, Eddie was very awkward around that.
At least Eddie's real mature.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, look, I'm not cool with this. Just gonna walk away right now.
Yeah, but he didn't start off mature about it. He started off with, I'm not talking to you. He just kind of he didn't say it like that, but he was he
started off like, we're still, like, because every time he did that, there were other people around. So he didn't want to just bring it up in front of other people. So he was like, I feel weird. I'm going to walk away.
Yeah, I guess. It still came off as a little petty to me.
No, to me it was like, oh, social anxiety. Oh, God.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, because I've been in similar situations like that, and I try not to make it awkward because that just makes you look bad. So I try to just suck it up and finish that out and deal with it after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously depends on the people because some people can't do that.
Yeah.
And have to remove themselves before they freak out.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever method of freak out is their particular brand.
Right. And then we learned about Eddie. We learned his relative.
Yes.
Which we kind of called.
Yes. I think I brought it up that in the comics he was Eobard Thawne.
Yep.
Eobard is a future name, I guess. Future Eddie.
Yeah. One of Eddie's sons or...
One of Eddie's grand... somethings.
Great-great-great-grandchild.
Something. Because Wells is just like... Because he... Cisco was like, Thawne, you mean like Eddie? And Wells was like, yeah, some he's some fucking relative of mine, I don't even care. Like, Wells might not even know exactly himself because he doesn't care.
Right. He should. What if Wells is him and Iris's baby?
It's not. No, I think it's
How far in the future was he from? 2025?
Huh?
How far in the future was he from? 2025? What was the newspaper? I'm assuming that's his timeline. Remember the newspaper in the first episode?
The newspaper was only 10 years in the future. I don't think that is Wells's time.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was 2024.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So it's like 10 years in the future, but I think Wells is from further back.
Maybe that's when he's born?
Further forward. Further back? Now I'm confusing myself.
Further
forward. He's further
I think he may have been born in 2024. That's a possibility.
But he didn't make it sound like he's Eddie's son. It's more like he made it sound more like he's Eddie's grandson or great-great-grandson, which wouldn't happen in 10 years.
Could be a cousin.
Maybe.
Like a cousin had a kid or something, you know?
Maybe. No, I think he's further. Child. He's further in the future than that.
Okay.
I just look.
Yeah, I was kind of so our theory about him taking the name Wells is pretty spot on at this point.
Yeah, so he took whatever poor sap's identity that was. 25th century. So that's in a couple hundred years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, I don't know, you would think he'd be worried about jeopardizing his future? Because...
What do you mean?
This is where the time travel... This is why I like and hate time travel all at the same time. Wells is from the future.
Yes.
He's now come to his past.
Yes.
Our present.
Yes.
If he interferes with something that prevents him from being born, does he cease to exist? Or is this some kind of alternate reality dimension time travel?
He would, more than likely, he would not. He would still be here. Like, he wouldn't cease to exist.
So it's alternate realities.
Yes,
alternate dimensions.
Alternate universes, yeah.
Yes.
It splits. That's sort of how DC time travel is notorious for working.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets to a point in the comics, definitely, where he can do whatever the fuck he wants with time. He can kill the Flash before he becomes the Flash, and he'll still have his powers, because bunch of comic book blah blah blah.
It just hurts my head because then I'm like thinking that we already know that Barry was with Barry in the past, and how did that happen if it's opening a wormhole to another dimension or parallel universe or something? Well, it's really weird to me.
Speedsters start to, at least the feeling I always got from it was, speedsters start to exist outside of the rules almost.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, if something gets changed, yeah, their past gets changed, but they sometimes retain memories, or they'll still be themselves. It's
not the memory, though. It's the fact that he was physically in his own past.
Yes.
But if he's traveling to an alternate universe, then he couldn't do that.
Yeah, and we think, well...
You see what I'm saying? This is why time travel annoys me. Because there's always inconsistencies. That is why, and I've said it before, my favorite version of time travel is whatever happens, happens. Because there are no inconsistencies that way.
Yeah.
That no matter what you try to change, it only makes those actions happen further. Which means you can't actually alter it because it's always happened that way. You
subscribe to the That's So Raven version of time. Well, she doesn't even time travel. She just sees the future.
Never seen that. But that's the time travel that they use in Lost. And that was my favorite time travel. But this one is... I understand the concept of where they're going, but having Barry being able to travel to his own childhood, that is what's causing conflicts with the way they're telling time travel at this point for me.
Yeah, and they're not done setting it up either.
Right, they haven't.
They're just touching the surface, and they do a much better job of explaining it than me, because they're the writers.
Right.
So don't take what I say as, oh yeah, that's how it is.
Because we've come to learn that the comics and the shows are very different.
Yes.
So what may happen in one may not happen in both. Truth.
But it does seem that I mean, it does seem that things are going to change. Because, I mean, they would not have killed Cisco off. You know, he's not actually gone for good.
See, I'm under the impression that the form of time travel that they're using right now is the paradox-inducing time travel, that if Barry went back in time and killed himself,
Yes.
that Barry would cease to exist in the present.
Yes.
So that conflicts what you just said about Wells preventing himself from being born.
Yeah. I guess it does.
Yeah. So
there are, I mean, I'm also drawing from like fragmented versions of things in the comic, so.
Correct.
So he may not disappear in the comic version, but maybe in this TV version, he would mess up his timeline. Anyway, what made me after Wells, it was kind of brutal too, because he just stopped his heart. It's just like,
yeah, it was. Oh my god, it was awful. It's awful. I was like, I guarantee you, Cleo's crying right now.
I actually was not.
I would have put money on it. That's how sure I was.
All right. This is not The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead, oh, it happened. That's it. There's no take-backs in The Walking Dead. This is a comic. You know, this is based on a comic. I mean, people die.
Where we already know time travel is possible
all the time. But even without time travel, people die and come back all the time.
Sometimes.
But
Firestorm.
Yeah. Although he didn't. I guess he did. I don't know what. Yeah. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Something about Cisco. Oh yeah, that after that whole thing happened, and I came out of my shock. I was like, he is a threat to Wells. Yeah. Wells felt threatened enough to kill him. Mm-hmm. So that, I mean, we were talking about would they be able to beat Wells, and now I'm like, fuck yes, because Cisco's clearly a threat enough for him to murder.
Well, it's not necessarily them being a threat. It's them telling Barry. Barry finding out is the threat. Cisco and Caitlin may not necessarily be able to do something themselves. I'm not saying they're incapable. But Barry, with the ability to time travel and retain his knowledge, is the real threat.
Yeah. But I also think that...
Because then Wells would be in the dark. Because if Barry found this out, time traveled, he's now in the past with the knowledge of Wells before Wells knows that Barry knows.
Does Wells know that Barry's now capable of time travel? Like, did he know that it was happening that day?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I honestly don't believe so.
Well then, if he didn't know he was going to time travel that day, then he was killing Cisco and hoping that Barry wouldn't find out.
He could dispose of the body. There's nothing to say that he was there.
He just walked away. Yeah, that also begs the question, where was he going? He just walked away.
He's got the robo-janitor coming in to sweep Cisco up off the floor.
Yeah.
Do you really think that Wells has a vacuum cleaner that he drives around with his wheelchair? No, he's got machines to do that for him.
Dom, you would dispose of a body with a vacuum cleaner?
Wells would, yeah. His vacuum cleaner is going to come complete with a body shredder in it. It's a wood chipping. It's a wood chipping vacuum cleaner.
Body chipping vacuum cleaner. Good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
To get rid of those really big dust bunnies.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, we got. Did we get sidetracked off of the Iris Linda thing, or?
Yeah, a little bit, kind of.
A little bit.
We're jumping all around like time travel.
I know, because so much happened in this episode.
Because
so much.
It's you can't really pin it to one thing because the time travel affects everything all at the same time.
I mean, it really does, and it almost makes most of what happened this episode
not happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say pointless, but...
It's definitely not pointless.
No, definitely not pointless, but it's sort of like, okay, it's gone now. That's it.
Yeah.
God, it's just so much emotion. fangirling. So yeah, Linda was just not having it. She's like, do we really have to? Oh, okay, let's roll with them, I guess. It's really weird.
I really like her too.
I love Linda.
She's a really good actress, and I'm so happy she's on the show. And I think she was signed for a reoccurring role, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not even to say that she's going to be a permanent cast member. I want her to be so bad. Mm-hmm. But
well,
do you have good news for me?
My dad said he heard a little thing that they might be trying to get Wally West in the show as maybe not as Kid Flash.
Huh.
But he is the one who ends up with Linda.
Oh.
So if he comes around next season, maybe Linda will have a more steady role in the show.
That would be great. I want more of her on the show.
Yeah. And I mean, it's very hard to keep up with the news that comes out between The Flash and Arrow, because it's constantly like, oh, Adam might be getting a show. Oh, there might be this spinoff. Oh, there might be that. And I'm like, I don't know what's real.
I think I think a lot of it is just fans wanting this kind of stuff. I'm only speaking by sheer volume of numbers right now and ratings, but it seems to me that The Flash is way more successful than Arrow is. And this show is basically a spin-off of Arrow, even though, I don't know if that's exactly how it worked in the comics to begin with. But I think we're going to see a lot more DC shows coming. I do. I really, really do. I almost feel like we will get individual shows for the bigger part of the Justice League.
Oh, that's also what I meant to say. The Atom might be coming on to The Flash. So the next Arrow Flash crossover is probably going to be probably going to be Atom coming on to The Flash.
Would that be season 2? There's no way the show's not getting a season 2.
I don't know. I heard about this a while ago, so
I'm going to tell you right now.
Because there's an episode coming up called All-Star Team Up, so I wouldn't put it past them having it happen soon.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, if this show does not get a season 2, there's going to be hell to pay. There's going to be hell to pay. I will go down to the CW, this is on CW, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will go down to the CW myself, personally, and I will make them film season 2. I don't care if they have to do it with stick figures.
There's like some contest that the CW does every week for the Flash, and people do stick figures of like Flash.
I think that's where I got the idea, because I saw the commercial for that.
Good, awesome.
I think it subliminally was floating around in my head till you just said that.
Like little stick figures.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
because I remember now that you said that, I remember the commercial of the dog in like 5 times speed running down with a red motion blur.
Yeah. So, one of the Martin brothers is back.
Yes.
The one that didn't get shot. I mean, I think we called this.
Yeah, we did. Back when the first one was in. Yeah. We're like, his brother's still alive out there somewhere.
Yeah. We didn't see a body. It was never recovered, so he's still alive.
Yep. But
clearly.
Apparently he broke every bone in his body.
Yeah.
Which explains why he was absent for so long. That's going to be a big...
Like, where did he go then?
He just laid there until he healed.
That's how bones work.
That is how bones work.
So they don't need to be set or anything. They
don't need
got
to be set. You don't need food and water to stay alive.
You don't need casts.
Yeah, no. Nope.
None
of that.
None of that. You'll be fine. But he's like... We saw his brother, and his brother was pretty strong. He's like so scary focused with his hail and his tsunamis.
Oh my God.
And his wind that just drags people out of windows.
The energy rod that Cisco made?
No, wait. Did he call it the wizard rod?
something like that.
Oh no, I'm so mad I forgot the name of it.
It makes sense to me in terms of stopping the lightning and maybe even the hail, but not the wind. It does not make sense for the wind for me. I can't wrap my head around that one.
Yeah, I don't know how weather works.
I don't think that would stop wind.
How do you weather?
How do you weather? Do you even weather, bro?
Bro, do you even weather? But yeah, oh man, he was really I really liked what they did with him.
Are we
and
really discussing whether or not we can weather?
Can't place the actor. Do you know what that actor's from?
No, he did look familiar though.
I didn't get the chance to look like anything up today, but I was watching and I was like, I know your face. Why do I know your face? Yeah. Man, Joe just keeps being like, don't tell Iris. Don't tell Iris. Don't tell Iris though. Don't tell Iris though. And I'm just like, Joe, God, stop it. When is there going to be the point where Joe has to tell Iris things? And when is Iris going to be really mad at him for not telling her things?
I mean, Iris kind of took the Flash reveal well, even though we didn't get dialogue out of her for it.
We got the, like, shocked face of a Sentry, though.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Barry's going to be more willing to tell her things now because of how well she seemingly took it. And because he thinks she's in love with him and all that. So I think we're going to get a new side of Barry and Iris. And I don't think it's going to go well.
No. And I mean, honestly, the only thing I could think when they were kissing was, I was like, you guys need to go break up with your peeps now. Like, right now. Go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I was there. You just scrolled past a picture of Wells with his hand in Cisco's chest, and I was just like, no, stop it. It's not cool.
What do you mean it's not cool? It's cool.
It's just like, it makes my heart hurt. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So Wells was talking about how he's stuck. He's stuck here. He's been stuck here for 15 years. But he didn't really say how he got stuck or what he was doing when he got stuck. Besides, well, he wasn't trying to kill Nora. He was trying to kill Barry.
Right.
So how the hell did Nora end up dead?
I don't know.
Is it going to end up being Barry's fault? Like, 100%?
I think that's when he got stuck.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So...
That's when Wells got stuck, when he traveled to that moment.
Okay. So he's already fought Barry, technically.
Correct.
All right. Then... I'm trying to wrap my head around it now. Because we've gone over, like, how it could have gone down.
Well, think about it. How old is Barry?
Huh?
How old is Barry?
Is now?
Yeah.
20-something? 20?
15 years ago would have put him at how old?
10.
How old was young Barry when his mother died?
10.
Somewhere around there. So yeah, if he's been stuck here for 15 years, that's the moment.
Oh, I didn't even notice you put that as your background.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. What I was saying is, since he didn't mean to kill Nora, why were they there? You know?
That is the question. That is the question.
And I think it's going to end up being that Barry thinks Wells is going to kill her.
Right.
But then it ends up being Barry accidentally kills her. Because Wells was very vague about the words he used when he's like, I didn't mean for Nora to, or it was not my intention for Nora to be killed. Like, I forgot how he worded it, but it was
right. So, do you
vague.
Do you remember the color of the lightning that saved Barry? Was that the red lightning or was it the yellow lightning?
I thought it was red.
Because I'm having trouble remembering all of a sudden. Because I'm curious, did Wells save Barry?
But why would Wells save Barry? Didn't he already said he wanted to kill him?
What if something had happened while they were running, some kind of accident that was going out? Wells didn't want Barry to die. He ran out to save Barry, and that's what got the mother killed. And then Barry, present-day Barry, stuck around to try to help his mother. That's why he doesn't have any... I don't know.
I don't know either. We're gonna have to, like, we've already, like, talked this in circles, and now with the new information, we're even more confused.
Yeah, it's just it's just an after image, the entire thing. that terminology, the way he worded it, the after image. That's how there was two of Wells. That explained a lot for us.
Yeah.
You know, because we were wondering how Wells was sitting in there, and
yeah. So he literally just seemed to be actually in two places at once.
Yep.
Appeared to be. Yeah, that was freaky, where there was like two standing in front of him. Just like, oh. Yeah. Can we talk about how bad of a liar Caitlin is?
She's a very good liar.
She's the worst.
What do you mean?
Sitting there for coffee, and she was like,
"What do you mean? Wells was not suspicious at all."
It's like, Caitlin, what are you doing?
Wells wasn't suspicious in the slightest.
Stop it. Yeah, no, I was just the whole time I was like, oh, Caitlin, stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
I mean, Wells was already suspicious when she wanted to stay instead of to go, because that's out of the ordinary for her. And then it was just a little, yeah, it was all a little. She doesn't lie often, so
no, she doesn't. That's true.
I don't blame her. But yeah.
And
how do you think Wells knew that she was stalling for Cisco, though? Like, how did he draw that conclusion that that's why she was stalling?
I mean, why else would she be stalling? Because she clearly was looking at her watch, was like, She was suspicious.
She could have been surprising a party for Wells, for all we knew. You know? Like, well, we knew, but for all he knew.
For all he knew.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's
just overly suspicious to begin with.
I think he's known that Cisco's been
onto him, yeah.
Not even just onto him, but he knew Cisco was suspicious of or was curious about why the containment field failed.
Right. But then when Cisco was watching it, was that a recording that he had?
I think so.
It was almost like he was stopping, rewinding it. So I was under the impression that it was a hologram that Wells had put in.
Yeah, me too.
But then that turned out not to be the case because Wells explained the after image and all that.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that too.
It hurt my brain.
All the brain hurt.
I mean, the time travel itself hurt my brain.
I mean, yeah.
Because, so you had Joe kidnap, broken leg, all that whole thing, and then forcing Iris to come down and, like, set her up into a trap, and then he reveals he's going to kill Iris, and, Barry's now clued in, all that. So then,
he reveals he's going to kill everyone on the coast, basically, with the tsunami.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a tsunami. The tsunami's coming in, and that's when Barry does his run back and forth to create the wind barrier, which, in theory, it sounded like it would work. And I thought it was going to work. I didn't think it was going to suck him into the Speed Force and time travel and all that.
No.
Did you have any clue that was going to happen? I mean, because you're more versed in the Flash than I am.
Did I have any idea that was going to happen?
None.
No. Because I was expecting time travel to start with the treadmill. Because for a very long time, that was the only way that Barry could time travel.
Right.
Was with the cosmic treadmill. He was never able to work up the force on his own until a point. There was a point where he was able to do it on his own. But no, I didn't. But I don't remember being extremely surprised either. I was just like, oh, so that happened.
The part that got me was, okay, so he ran back and forth, da 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 da. But then how did he end up running down a street? That's the part of the time travel I don't get.
Because that's where he was at that time the night before.
Okay.
So I don't think that he's capable of controlling his time travel power on his own.
Okay,
like,
so then that leads...
If he wants to control it, he's going to have to use the treadmill.
That leads me to another question.
Yeah.
Are there currently 2 Barrys?
No.
Why?
I do not think so.
He stopped and looked at himself.
He did, but that was like a blur, like an after image, like he passed himself on the way to the an alternate dimension or an alternate timeline. Because when he stopped at that moment, if there were 2 Barrys, the other Barry would have stopped. But I think it was just sort of he's taking that Barry's place. Almost.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Head, brain, melting.
Ow. We should title this episode, or at least in the description, the one in which our brains melt.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something about Wells now, and I've forgotten. I have forgotten. Are you looking? Are there actually differences between the 2 timelines?
Yeah, I'm trying to look up right now on the different things, and I came up with this. Mm-hmm. This is image on Screen Rant that I found, and
I like that site.
This shows the exact frame of which he gets back, and clearly there's a woman who's not in the other frame. The woman on the left over here, on the left picture, she's not in the...
Sure she's not just blocked or on the other side of that pole?
If it's the same frame, it's... I don't know. And all these people in the background...
Oh, okay.
Are not by the door. So...
I wonder if that is a deliberate thing or if that's just, like, extras fucking up.
Yeah. I don't know if it's extras fucking up as much it would be they didn't use the exact shot.
Yes.
If that's the case, I don't know why they wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because they use the exact same shot of the woman going, I'm gonna be late!
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. How do you think that Eddie's gonna find out?
Oof. I don't know.
That he's got a relative from the future.
I don't know, because I mean, anybody that knows that right now doesn't know it anymore.
That's true. It's gone. Anybody, one person.
I'm trying to be sympathetic toward you, Cleo, because I know.
No, it's okay.
He's dead. Okay. He's dead, Cleo. He's dead.
He's Move back.
On. How do you know this?
His time reset. It's Groundhog Day. Time reset. Dean's gonna die 100 times.
But he's gonna die all over again.
Yesterday was Tuesday. Today is was it Wednesday? Was it a Wednesday? I forget now. It's the last time I see that episode.
Yeah, but like, okay, so now that I'm putting this into perspective, if this happened after the bowling alley,
yes,
then Barry already had that conversation with Cisco and Caitlin. So Cisco's already asked Caitlin to delay Wells in the morning, which means she's gonna do the same thing at the coffee shop. So unless it is direct interference from Barry, which is not out of the question because Barry retains information that he's time traveled and may go to Wells for information.
I think he's gonna go straight to I time travel, guys.
Yeah.
I did it.
So, I mean, there's still the possibility, but it's probably doubtful.
Yeah, I mean, I think something's gotta happen. Where
No, nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing will ever happen again.
Never.
Barry broke the universe.
It's gone.
Everything's done.
It's gone.
That's it. Go home.
It's the series finale.
This is the everything finale.
Yep.
The final finale.
The show ended every show's seasons. It broke TV. TV hasn't been invented anymore.
TV's broken.
Mm-hmm.
My brain hurt. It legitimately hurts now.
Yeah, that's what time travel does. Do you see
Time
why
travel.
I prefer the time travel method that I prefer?
Yeah.
It's just because you don't
No,
get
I
the
mean, I do
you
get
don't
it.
get the brain cramps.
We're also debating it where we've only seen it happen once.
Correct.
And we haven't seen the consequences of what
Right. We're
of
we're
what's just
assuming a
happened.
lot, but I think they're
We are.
fair assumptions.
Yes, I think so too. I think when it's laid out for us in the show, it's gonna make a little more sense.
Probably. But I think we have a pretty good grasp on it as it is right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I broke my brain. Do you have anything else to say about this episode?
What does this mean for the Arrow now? Time travel.
Unless it directly affects him, probably very little. I mean, I feel like the time travel right now that Barry's doing is only going to affect what Barry does. The things immediately around Barry.
Okay.
I feel like things in other places will kind of go on as they had.
Okay.
Until there's another crossover, then maybe Barry will be like, "Hey, I time traveled. What's up, Ollie?"
So if this is alternate universe time travel,
Yes.
what happened in the universe that Barry had just left?
Cisco is dead. Caitlin becomes Killer Frost. She tries to kill Wells. I don't know.
But like, did Barry just vanish? He's gone now, so Barry's not in that universe anymore.
Yes.
Never to come back to that universe? Because
That's a
it
good
seems like
question.
he can't control where he's traveling to. I don't know if he's ever going to get that power. I don't know how he focuses of, I want to go back to this moment.
Yeah, it might be. It might just be how long and far he runs
While in
at
the
that
speed
speed.
force, yeah.
That determines when he comes out. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that universe is probably a scary one because Cisco's dead. And then I was actually thinking about this.
Did the
when
city get
episode-
saved?
Huh?
Did the city get saved?
That's a good question. Did the wind wall work? I don't know.
Right, because Barry just disappeared. So is the wind still up? Is it still intact? Did it save it in time? Did it dissipate before the tidal wave crashed?
Is everybody
Is
dead?
Joe dead?
Is Iris dead? When the episode ended, I was like, Cisco's dead. Caitlin's gonna find his body. She's gonna go evil. She's gonna be Killer Frost. I was like, what could happen in this alternate timeline? So much.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're gonna see this timeline again?
I fucking hope so.
You want to see a world without Cisco?
I want to see like Fringe when they met their otherworld selves.
Yeah. Yep.
But Cisco would be the only Cisco, and there wouldn't be another Cisco, and he'd just be like,
Yeah, I mean, Fringe was so different because, I guess these parallel universes were crossed, and we saw the residual effects of like 20 years of how the future was altered, where this is more localized within maybe a couple days of each other.
yes, but if Barry goes 10 years into the future,
Which future is he going to?
I don't know. Both.
See, like, that's...
Wait, listen, now I'm literally just spitballing. I'm not...
Now I'm confused. So if Barry left, right? Barry left that timeline.
No,
he's in
listen,
a new thing.
I'm not
Get back to the
saying,
old one?
This will ever happen. I'm not saying this will ever happen. This is just my
No, I know, but my question is, here's my question.
Okay.
Universe 1, that's the universe we watched the entire show in.
Yes.
Right? Barry just zapped himself out of there. He's now in Universe 2.
Yes.
Right? Which is where he's at now.
Yes.
The aftermath of Universe 1. Can he get back to Universe 1?
I don't know if the Speed Force could do it, but it's going back to the comics. And I don't know how, I can't even remember how they do it, but in Crisis on Infinite Earths, those universes cross over. I think it's just like those universes, the barrier's thin.
Right. Because the one on Fringe was not related to time travel.
No.
The one on Fringe was a legit alternate dimension that was running exactly parallel. It was like the physical space that existed in the world. It was like the fifth dimension, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then it was ripped apart and something was altered, and then it changed the face of the entire other universe. And then you were able, under certain circumstances, to cross over, which was not time travel related in any way, shape, or form. You were still present day in both of those timelines.
Yeah, it's just dimension. This is time travel.
Right. So if this is, I don't.
Barry will not be able to go back on his own. No.
Right. Maybe. So then we probably won't see what happens in this universe.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. I'm gonna
Unless there's another external science-y force that is like, hey, look, there you go.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go under the assumption that this is the same style time travel that is used in Back to the Future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen Back to the Future, but I think so.
You haven't? Did you just say you have not seen Back to the Future?
No, it has been a while since I have seen Back to the Future.
Well, Back to the Future, where they had, it was basically you can go back in time and you're still in your timeline.
Yes.
But if you did something to alter your existence, you would fade, right? So you're still in your universe. It's creating jettison points off, like branches off of different paths that the universe could take due to circumstances that happened at this junction in time.
Well, I also completely forgot to mention what other half of Firestorm said time travel is like. It was like a highway.
Right.
Where you can get on and off. Like there's on-ramps and off-ramps.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of like pauses in this episode of where we're just thinking really hard. My
brain hurts.
Do you have anything else besides us fucking talking about time travel?
Yes, can we go back in time?
No.
And stop us from talking about time travel?
No. It's too late. It's happened.
Not if we go back in time.
But we will still have remembered that we talked about it.
But alternate me wouldn't.
Next week. Next week's episode is called Rogue Time, and okay, there we go. The Flash learns that Captain Cold and Heatwave have returned to Central City. This time, S.T.A.R has brought along his younger sister, Lisa, to help wreak havoc on the city.
Ooh.
Yay!
Do you know Lisa from the comics? Are you familiar with her?
I don't know. No, I don't know her. I don't remember her.
Huh. I need to
I am
Google
only
her real quick.
She is in the comics. I did look it up when she appeared in the end.
She's known as the Golden Glider, apparently.
Yes.
So I don't know what that even means. She's a figure skater.
Ah, okay.
She adopts an orange ice skater's costume and mask and ice skates, which create their own ice flow.
Oh, cool.
allowing her to effectively skate on air. She also has diamonds and jewels that can be used as explosives or hypnotic devices. The Golden Glider seeks revenge against Silver Age Flash for several years. She frequently collaborates in her heist with her brother, who is very protective of her.
So I really like how both Flash and Arrow appropriate certain villains or even heroes' abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Black Canary is one of my favorite examples. She, in the comics, has super sonic. She can scream and, like, blow your ears out.
Right.
But that's a power she has. In the show, she's got these little sonic discs she throws at people.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love. So,
yeah, because I like the fact that it's more of there's a technological explanation to it than there is a just superpower thing. Like, having superpowers and stuff is cool, but I like how because I think the reason for it's because this is still set in Arrow's universe.
Yeah.
And they need to make it semi-realistic still to allow Arrow to exist.
Well, I mean, they've done that with the isolated metahumans being from the reactor explosion.
Right, and that makes sense for them.
But I love how they take Snart, who has no powers, he just has a gun. But he is so much scarier than some of the metahumans that Barry's fought.
Except for the one that turns into poison gas. That one's really scary.
Yeah.
He's legit really scary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't wait for next episode. I can't wait for this show. I look forward to this show more than I look forward to anything else in the week. Anything else in the week.
Honestly, this is the first episode of this show where I sat down and I was like, I'm really nervous to watch it. And I got up like 10 times, paused the episode, walked to the kitchen for no reason, went back, watched it because I was just so nervous.
It came up and I was like, I have this show, and this show to watch. Flash is first.
Yeah.
Usually I save the best for last, but I couldn't wait. I could not even wait because I wanna like some of the more slow-paced shows that we watch. I tend to watch those first, so I have things to look forward to instead of saving them for last, knowing they're gonna drag. Yeah. So this show is usually like the one I try to watch last because I'm always so excited to watch it. With the show being gone for a month, I couldn't wait. There was no more room to wait in my life.
No, I was the opposite because I was so nervous I saved it for last. I watched Empire, I watched S.H.I.E.L.D., and then I was like, Flash, but I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
But yeah, the promo for next episode has Barry abusing his newfound power. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely going to see what the true consequences are for fucking around with time.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm scared again, but not as scared as for the episode we just watched.
I'm more thrilled.
Yes, that is the proper word for it. So Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenodom.
Phenomenodom. I thought you were gonna spell it. I'm sorry, I was waiting.
PHENOMEDOM.
You can find me at Cleomoto on the socials and at Twitch at the Cleomoto. I will actually be streaming tomorrow, so. Cleomoto. That doesn't work at all. You can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. I miss MySpace. How could I miss MySpace? Follow us for some podcasts for more of your favorite TV shows. Until next week.
We'll be back in a flash.
If a flash means a week. Yeah.
You see what I did there? Because the show is called The Flash, and we're gonna be back.
Stop.
With the next Flash. So we'll be back in a
Stop
flash.
it.